It started when I was 6 or 7 years old. I won the math award in my elementary school, a private school, 2 years in a row. And I was very athletic, and it was basically overnight that I went from one of the smartest kids in my class to really the dumbest. And I never knew why. And then as the years went on, I got dumber and dumber to the point when I was in high school, I could no longer do any tests. Every test I did, it was 10% or 20% at the highest. I went from being the number one soccer player in my province and possibly the country. By the time I was in grade 12, I was one of the worst on the school soccer team. And I never knew why or what was wrong. I didn't even know that I was sick. And then I found out when I was 18 that I had Lyme disease. Someone told me about it, and I looked it up and found out that this is probably what I was suffering from. I did the ELISA test, and of course it was negative, just like everyone else is. My family then proceeded to get the Western blot done through California. It came back positive, and my family then booked an appointment with Dr. Marty Ross in Seattle, who saved my life. But he did not give me my life back, but he did stop me from dying. And he diagnosed me with Lyme disease, Bartonella, Babesia, Ehrlichia, Mycoplasma, and I was extremely sick. And I was on fentanyl, I was on Oxycontin, I was on Dilaudid, I was on antidepressants, I was on antipsychotics, and I was on sedatives, and I went through 1 year of electroshock therapy. And after 2.5 years of Dr. Marty Ross, I only found that I got better in the first 6 months, and after that first 6 months, it never got any better after that. So after 2.5 years, I said, I'm not going to get better. I have to stop putting all these antibiotics into me. I have to accept what's wrong. And I left Dr. Marty Ross, and then I found a doctor in my province who was treating Lyme disease with the Marshall protocol, and that didn't work either. One day, typed in Lyme disease cure on Google, and the BX protocol popped up. I started reading about it, I started researching it, and I thought that this had to be too good to be true. My mom said, we'll do this, and if it doesn't work, nothing is going to work. So we decided to do it. I was told I would feel better in 2 weeks to 6 months, and in about 10 days to 2 weeks in, I noticed a big difference. And that's when I thought to myself that, whoa, this stuff is definitely working. And I have now been on the BX protocol for 8 months. I plan to take it for 2 years. And I can now think clearly. I can do things without causing pain. I can walk a golf course. I can play golf. I'm now coaching my high school soccer team, and we just finished 5th place in our province. And I can do all this stuff, and I just can't believe when I'm doing this stuff and when I'm done that I'm not in pain and that I don't need painkillers. After about 2 months into the BX, I cried for about 20 minutes just because I couldn't believe how good I felt. And I never in a million years thought that I would ever be a healthy person again. And I totally feel like I am so much better. There's still some ways to go, but the chronic pain is gone, the chronic fatigue is gone, the chronic brain fog is gone, the depression is gone. Now all I have to do is rehabilitate my muscles that I lost being in bed for 5 years. And I am so optimistic of my future, and I am just so happy. I just can't believe that I'm this good. I'm feeling this good. A typical day for me consisted of waking up, putting a fentanyl patch on, or a few of them. I was on 350 micrograms. I would then proceed to take Oxycontin hundreds of milligrams of that, hundreds of milligrams of Dilaudid. I would be forced to leave my house because my family didn't really understand what I was going through. I would go to my friends, I would sit on his couch and smoke marijuana and basically just fall asleep, nod in and out of consciousness, and I couldn't be around anybody except maybe a couple people who realized how sick I was and believed how sick I was. Unlike everyone else that thought I just wanted to abuse painkillers, and wanted to just waste my life. They thought I wanted to. People thought I was faking it, and I had to go to a place where people wouldn't judge me. And then I would come home, and then I would go to bed for sometimes 10 hours, sometimes 20 or 30 hours. And then I would just repeat the cycle. And that lasted probably 7 years. And now I don't do that anymore. Now I get up and I just do things that I need to do to move forward in life. I noticed a difference with the antibiotics only for about 3 to 6 months, and then it all stopped and it all plateaued. And it never made me any better, or it maybe made me 10-15% better, but that was about it. It might have saved my life, stopped me from dying, but it didn't make me better at all. And then I found the BX, and within 2 weeks I noticed a reduction in pain. I started lowering my painkillers because of that. I noticed more energy, and I noticed less brain dysfunction, and I was more capable of having conversations. And it was at this point that I realized that I didn't need painkillers and marijuana and all this stuff. And it took me about 3 months to lower them from the dose I was on. And finally, after about 3 months into the BX, I was now marijuana free, antidepressant free, and most importantly, I was painkiller free. I can't believe what this BX does, and it's the best thing that this earth has ever seen. And now people are finally all starting to realize that I am a new person, and I have also lost 70 pounds. Everyone is now saying they're so happy for me. They're so happy that I'm doing better. They're so happy that I'm off the drugs. I feel like I am the luckiest person on the world. I feel like I've beaten a disease that is basically unrecoverable. I don't think anyone on earth can beat chronic Lyme disease without the BX protocol. You have to do the BX protocol if you have Lyme disease, you are multiply co-infected. You need to do the BX protocol because it is the only thing that works. I've talked to thousands of people. I've been on so many treatments, and nothing has worked like the BX protocol. The BX protocol addresses everything in the body, not just certain things. It addresses everything. And I've had hundreds of symptoms, hundreds, and they're all gone.